Welcome back to another episode of The Depths of the Melody. I had the honor of sitting down with James, the mastermind behind the band HELLRIPPER. I love what he is doing, and I believe what he is bringing to the scene of metal is needed. So sit back, grab your snacks, and enjoy this interview. James, I was really grateful for you two agreeing to sit down and talk with me and talk HELLRIPPER, talk music, talk life. I
Yeah,
just
man.
think that's incredible, man. So I really appreciate you taking time out of your day. I know that you're busy and you're doing a lot. So thanks for taking time. And I did tell you
Thank you,
about
man.
how, yeah, I did tell you about how one of my patrons introduced me to your music. And
Hmm.
so refreshing, dude. There's so many people that are making metal, and I think that's incredible, man. Like artists that are pursuing their passions.
Hmm.
Then, but sometimes you come across something that is just so refreshing, new to the ear, and
Hmm.
just hits on those levels. And that's
Yeah.
how I felt when I first heard HELLRIPPER. And
Thank you, man.
dude,
That's so kind.
yeah, man.
So kind.
So
Thank you very much.
absolutely. Your music, your sound, it speaks my language, dude. Speed, thrashy, and just black metal. Such a perfect marriage. And also too, with this latest album, I really enjoyed the lyrical content. I am one of those people that read lyrics. I know some
Hmm.
people that don't read lyrics, but I really enjoyed the lyrical content, which I feel like good lyrics can take a song and just make it even better.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it was really cool, man. I think this latest album that you came out with is just that's a perfect album, man. I'm talking like every song from
Oh,
start to finish. I've already sent that album to some people that I know. I'm like, have you heard of
I
HELLRIPPER yet? And they're like, no, no, I want to. I'm like, fucking listen to this album, dude.
love
And
it.
give
Thank you so much. Yeah. I mean, that's how the
absolutely.
band grows. People like yourself spreading the word and yeah, sharing the music with people, one person sharing it with one person, shares it with the next person, every little bit of help, every little share makes so much of a difference that you might not think, like you just think, oh, I'll share this with a friend, but that could just start a chain reaction. They can share it to somewhere that someone, you know, it's yeah, a lot of people underestimate the power of just a simple share or adding stuff to Spotify and liking posts and follows and stuff like that. Stuff that are not monetary. Like buying the merch, buying stuff like non non-monetary means of support helps so much as well.
Am totally 100% on board with like what you just said because it's really easy for somebody who's just a listener to be like
Hmm.
they're scrolling through, oh cool, that's a sick riff and keep scrolling. It's
Yeah.
so powerful to hit a like. It's so powerful to just, even interacting because we can
Yeah.
sometimes forget that artists, they're humans, man. Like they're
Hmm.
not on this other pedestal where they're untouchable. They don't have like they're void of emotion. I don't know about you, man, but if I'm an artist and I see people interacting with a song that I created and they're
Hmm.
sharing how it made them feel and how they loved it. Oh my God, I can imagine how that makes you
Yeah.
feel.
Yeah. It's ridiculous, man. Yeah. It's and similar to you when I started HELLRIPPER. I mean, and I still do it for the reason that I love writing music. I love recording music, and I started HELLRIPPER just because that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to write some music that I enjoy, influenced by some of my favorite bands, Venom, Toxic Holocaust, Midnight, Cruel Force, things like that. And I just thought I'll record some stuff in my bedroom. I'll put it online, maybe 5 or 10 people from my local scene, like at the time in Aberdeen. Maybe they'll like it. Um, and that was it, really. That was kind of my only goal. And yeah, so almost anything from that is a bonus. I didn't expect the band. There was no at the beginning. There was no plans for the band to play live. There was no real plans for an album. Um, there was no real plans to do anything. It was just kind of, if I felt like doing something, I'll do it. There was no, no expectation or goal to have like a lot of success or whatever. So yeah, to see the album and to see the music grow over the years, and to see people, liking, like even listening to the music, is I really appreciate. If someone doesn't like the music, that's completely fine with me. I appreciate that they've give it taken the time to listen to it. But of course, yeah, when someone likes the music enough to buy a shirt or buy the music, or become a fan, come to a live show, share their reactions with me, and record a YouTube video or whatever. It's amazing, it's yeah, I'm so grateful for that, and for people's support, and people like yourself and people that support the band are the reason that I can keep doing it, with the support. Because if no one wants to come to shows anymore, there won't be I we can't do a show, for example. So yeah, it's just crazy seeing people respond to the music the way they have done.
There's power, man. There's really you spoke about something. There's something very powerful about following a dream, following a desire from a pure place. You were
Mm,
like, dude, I just wanted to write some cool music. I don't even know if anybody's gonna like it, but I have
yeah,
something inside me that I want to get out.
yeah,
And that comes from a place of purity and
mm,
like true intention. And I
yeah,
believe that people that are like real fans of music pick up on that. And
mhm,
that's probably why you have seen this growth and this unexpected success because that's coming from a place of creativity, a place of the soul, and people pick up on that, man. Like
yeah,
100%. When I listen to your music, I can feel that passion. I can feel this isn't just some dude ripping off some sick riffs. There's a
mm,
lot of passion, there's a lot of heart in the music, man. And that is going to inspire a lot of people. You don't even realize it yet, man,
yeah,
but I guarantee you down the road, you are going to have people come up and go, James, like because of you, you inspired me, man. And I guarantee it, dude,
yeah,
that's going to happen. And if you would have never, sit down in your room and ripped off some riffs and played some music, who
yeah,
knows, man? And that's powerful, dude.
yeah, yeah. It's crazy, man. Just yeah, and like you say, it's yeah. I think when you start writing music for, I mean, different things work for different people, of course, but I feel my number one reason has always been I want to do music. It's what I enjoy doing. I enjoy writing music as a hobby. I enjoy, recording and writing, just the whole process. It's what I do, in my spare time, in my free time, um, and always have done since I've been able to play guitar. And I've I want to do things for the music, most of all. The moment you start thinking about, I want to appeal to other people, I want to, whatever, any other reason, it becomes kind of diluted, and it's coming from a place of, it's not authentic, yeah, like you say. And I think,
Almost gets tainted.
yeah, I feel like you can hear that in the music. I feel like, it becomes, yeah, like you say, yeah, it just becomes, yeah, like tainted, and it kind of feels like it's not, sometimes it feels like it's not horrible, it's not amazing, but it kind of middles in between, because you're trying to please everyone, so you're neither here nor there. So you're trying to do loads of things to appeal to everyone, for example, and you're not really appealing to anyone because you're halfway everywhere. Um, of course, that can obviously work, I guess, for some people, and yeah, people get into music for all sorts of different reasons. My reason isn't um, the the universal way to do things, of course. But yeah, just for me, if I started, trying to, oh, I want to hit the mainstream or whatever, I would start writing songs in a different way that didn't come from a place of authenticity, and it would just be a diluted mid middle of the road kind of thing. If I'm making sense at all there.
No, you are, man. Yeah, it's you got to really you really have to kind of be like, I got to follow my path. And, people are going to share their opinions. They're going to be like, well, what if you did this, And sometimes you might listen to those ideas and go, that's a good
Yeah,
idea. I could see that applies. But sometimes
absolutely.
I don't, I don't think that applies at all, And
Yeah,
and that's why you have intuition. That's why you got
yeah,
to follow that voice, you know,
yeah,
and, and that sometimes will make no sense to anyone.
mm,
You
yeah,
are going to want to go do something and people are going to go, James, that makes no freaking sense, dude. Like, why would you want to do
yeah,
it this way?
yeah. I feel, it's why I see a lot of people, like, if they get a negative review or something, they get so annoyed by it, worked up and stuff, and they take it really personally, they take it to heart and stuff, which, it's like a natural reaction, I guess. But whenever whenever I've like seen a review, it's or an opinion or something, someone tells you something. I don't know, yeah, the two options you have is you listen to their opinion, you either agree or disagree with it, you try and be kind of neutral or see things from like another point of view, and if they say like, oh, the guitars did this thing that I don't like, I'll go and listen to it and I'll think either, yeah, they're correct, I'll probably not do that again in the future, or I'll listen to it and I'll say, no, I actually like the way that the guitars do that, I'm going to carry on. um I mean, everything is just opinion, so you've got no, it's not a personal attack on you and stuff like that. And yeah, I think, yeah, criticism and opinions are really, helpful for a band if you take them on board. Um and it's just like, yeah, I surround myself with people, like, when I'm writing music and stuff, I send works in progress to people, like friends and
Mhm.
my partner and like people at the labels and stuff like that, and I'm like, what do you think of this? Because when you're, I mean, for me, when I'm recording and writing and stuff, sometimes, you do get in your own head, you're doing something for so long, by the time I've recorded an album, I've listened to the songs about thousands of times, and then you're like, is this a really catchy chorus, or is it just because I've heard it 5 million times that I can, that I remember it? So yeah, if you surround yourself, or find people you trust, like their opinion, and get honest feedback, people that aren't going to just say, oh, it's amazing to please you, or someone that's going to hate it because they don't like this style of music or whatever, if you find people that you can kind of trust, or in my case, I get people that I trust and I send them the works in progress, and they'll tell me, yeah, maybe rethink this bit's a bit too long, maybe try, whatever, just giving feedback. And yeah, you take that on board, because yeah, um for me, yeah, of course, being one person doing everything, my mind's on a lot of different things. And um you don't have like the other members of a band pitching in with ideas, or uh vetoing bad ideas, coming in with alternate suggestions and stuff. So you've got to kind of, in my case, you've got to kind of find it outside um the band context, I guess.
Dude, the great thing, man, you touched on another thing too, which is really great, is just the fact that like especially doing anything creative, opinions are going to come, and if you can see
Yeah.
them like that and not take them personal, and
Yeah.
people want to see you succeed, and so like what you said, you have people that are able to kind of help you along on this journey of being
Yeah.
a one man project.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And Well, you have good people in your corner, dude, because
Yeah.
you're putting out really
Thank you, man.
good music, man. So,
Thank you, man. But yeah, yeah, it's like you say, everything is opinion. I mean, I don't like everything. It doesn't mean, if a band puts out a song and I don't like it, I'm not personally attacking the band. I'm not, you I don't like everything, so I don't expect everyone to like what I'm doing, yeah.
yeah, dude, I think talking about that, man, I think people take things like super personal. Like
Mhm,
life is about disagreeing sometimes, but living
mhm.
in harmony. Like I can be
Yeah,
like, I didn't really care for that. I think you're an awesome human, but like I didn't really
yeah,
dig that or whatever. I agree, man. That's why
yeah,
you're an Opeth fan, right?
yeah, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I heard this interview, man, where they were talking about Michael, and they said, like, dude, basically, a lot of people want you to come back and do the like the growls again.
Yeah,
And he was just like, I appreciate that. And I know people want that, but I'm creating the music I want. And
yeah,
I'm just like,
exactly. Yeah,
do it, Mike. Like, I just appreciate him as an artist. So even though I
yeah,
miss that old formula, I'm still like, just do what you want, man. I'm still gonna listen to your music, you
yeah.
know?
Absolutely. I mean, when you're at a stage like that, they could easily do the growling and stuff to please people, and but then people would just end up saying, "Oh, it's not as good as the older stuff," and
Yeah.
then you've compromised yourself. You've like your own songs. You've compromised your own like process. You've written something that you might not be 100% keen on, and then you don't. Then the people don't even like it. Because it's not authentic. So it's much better that someone writes what they want to write rather than trying to please people because people are going to like and people are going to hate no matter what you do.
Oh yeah, dude. I wanted to ask you, man. Okay, let's have a little fun. You have to make a five-man band, a super
Mm,
band. Who You have two guitarists, one bass, vocals, and a drums.
mhm.
From all the groups that you like, what would be your super band?
So yeah, on like growly death vocals, harsh vocals, I'd have Michael Ackerfeld. He's in
It's
my
so
opinion,
good.
he's the best. Um, Drums, I would say a couple of my favorites are Marco Miniman and Hannes Grossman. Really great drummers, a bit more on the prog side. They played in like tech death bands and death metal bands and stuff. But so one of those. What have I got? Bass and guitars. Dave Mustaine, um, and maybe Jeff Waters from Annihilator. Both killer lead and rhythm
Mhm.
guitarists. Um, I mean, these are just my favorites. I feel like this band is not going to be sort of cohesive in kind of style.
It
But
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
and then bass, I'm going to go either Les Claypool or Flea. Uh,
Damn,
Absolute
okay.
kind of wild cards in there. But yeah, the Chili Peppers are one of my favorite bands, and Primus as well. Or yeah, I love them both. So you've
That
got
would
an, a diverse bunch there.
that would be wild, man. I cannot just that holy hell. Especially seeing like Michael and Dave Mustaine on the stage together, I'd be like,
Yeah,
what? That's cool though, dude.
yeah.
That is so when did you how old were you when you started playing guitar?
Um, I got a guitar when I was like really young, but I never really had the patience or interest. I was into other things. I played like football, and I wanted to, hang out with friends, and I played
Yeah.
video games and stuff. And as I got more and more into music and started to discover metal, I started to kind of take um, guitar seriously, more seriously. So I started learning. Um, so I probably started taking things a little more seriously when I was like 13 or 14.
Hmm.
But I did play a little before then. It was horrible, but I could kind of play basic stuff, I guess, before then. but yeah, I discovered metal properly around 13. I heard Metallica and Megadeth, and that kind of just sparked something, and I wanted to learn guitar properly. And so I remember learning For Whom the Bell Tolls. You know, of course,
Classic.
it's compared to like other Metallica and Megadeth and like HELLRIPPER stuff, it's a more slow paced song. And I remember struggling and struggling for weeks and weeks and probably months, like, you know, trying to get some of the riffs down and some of the lead parts, just um yeah, and eventually getting it. It was so satisfying, like learning like a Metallica song. And then yeah, I just kept practicing, and from there, you learn the faster songs and the more complicated, and Megadeth, Slayer, whatever.
What's your favorite Metallica album?
Favorite Metallica album? Probably Ride the Lightning. Um, yeah, I would say probably overall Ride the Lightning. But I'm a fan of almost anything.
Yeah, Ride was awesome, dude. I'm very similar. I was young and I got into my friend's car and I actually never even heard like metal at all.
Yeah.
I grew up in the country and
Hmm.
my dad was a gospel singer and
Okay.
I was in Boy Scouts and I'm getting in the car to go to Scouts and my friend put in Master of Puppets. And of
Yeah,
course I
right.
don't know what the hell that is, right? So he puts it in and he skips to track 2, Master of Puppets, and I just hear that and I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is this? Like it changed my life, dude. And
Mm.
dude, because of Metallica, I was kind of an elitist. Like I would not listen to anything because Metallica to me was perfect.
Yeah.
And I even became like an elitist to their music. Like I really only like Ride Up Through Black. Like
Okay.
I don't like a lot of their albums afterwards. Like I like some songs, but I became
Hmm.
like really stickler about Metallica, dude, and it's just wild. It's
Yeah.
wild. They were they still are. They're a special band, man, and like how they affected people, and so it's
Hmm.
cool that very similar how that happened. So you started learning guitar. When was it when you were like, dude, I think I want to create some shit?
I think I was always kind of um trying to come up with my own stuff. I found not too long ago actually, um, or actually no, I found it again a while ago. I had like a little Sony Ericsson. Do you remember the Sony Ericsson Walkman
Yeah,
mobile phones from when was that a thing? I can't remember. Yeah,
I think
but
over
I
10
had one
years.
ages ago. Yeah, I had one
Yeah.
of those, and I remember I would record like riff ideas and stuff. I'd never really write songs. I don't think I could kind of grasp that yet, but I used to like record anything like that I might have come up with, and I remember discovering that I found that phone when I was like looking through some stuff, and I listened to like it was still working, and there was some stuff on
Wow.
there, and one of the riffs I wrote when I was like can't remember, like yeah, 13 or something. It ended up on one of the first Hellripper EPs. Um, in one of the songs, it was changed a little bit, but I remember I listened to the riff and I thought this is quite cool, you know, which is hilarious. Like a riff that I wrote when I was really young was sort of good enough to adapt into a song. But yeah, I've always been recording stuff. Um, and yeah,
You sh
I guess when I discovered metal and Metallica and stuff, I kind of got into the writing songs, and I had some friends, and we wanted to form a band, and uh we'd write songs and share riffs and all of that. And I remember like my early attempts at songwriting. It's a like I think it's a common thing. They were just like, riffs after riff after riff. There was no real structure,
yeah.
you just want to kind of go, oh, what if we do 50 riffs and they're all super fast and they're all, just super technically complicated and stuff like that. And then as I kind of improved at songwriting and developed my ear and listened to songs, to see what they
Hmm.
did, you're like, wow, these amazing songs, they only have maybe three three to five riffs, for example, three to five parts. Um, but it's a catchy chorus, it's a really good riff, it's like everything has a purpose and stuff. So I started developing more of a style to be less, especially in the early Hellripper stuff, that was very punk influenced, very
Hmm.
simple. I don't want to say simple, but less complex, like structure wise and things. So it was, some of the first Hellripper songs have like maybe two or three riffs, and they're all like like the songs are like 1 to 2 minutes, And again, as I've um improved as a songwriter and as I kind of expand my musical tastes, I'm still discovering new stuff. I'm still trying to incorporate different influences. I'm still learning, to how to do loads of things. So I experiment a bit more now. I feel like, I've got like the confidence to kind of, you know, try different things to see if they work. Um, so songs become a bit more complex, but still trying to retain the catchiness and a feeling of being concise, and stuff like that. Yeah, kind of a tangent there, but yeah, just kind of things have kind of developed and changed, and you know, I'm still learning. So,
No, dude, I love it, man, because you you're opening up about your process,
mhm,
and that's really important. That's really important
yeah,
to be able to get that out. You know what you should do, man, is you should make a recording of some of those riffs on that phone that you found and just post it on
yeah,
Instagram. Be like,
I
guys,
may
look what I
actually.
found. You
That's a
should
good
do
idea.
that.
I need to find that phone again. I might have it somewhere. I might need to find
people
a charger for it or something. But
yeah,
yeah,
dude. People would eat that up, dude. That would be sick. That'd be really
that'd be
cool.
yeah, that would actually be quite funny. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Um,
I'm
s-
gonna try and find it.
what is what's the story behind Hellripper? Is it just a badass name, or do you have like some deep meaning about it?
Yeah, I mean it probably came from somewhere. But yeah, it was just like something I popped into my head and I thought, yeah, that's cool. It fits the music that I want to write. And there's loads of bands in this style, like the Black Thrash, whatever style, you've got like Bone Hunter, Whip Striker,
Yeah.
they follow a similar pattern or whatever. But probably came from somewhere, Midnight have the song Rip This Hell. Could have came from that subconsciously. I don't know.
It's awesome, dude. It really is, man. I did want to say, and I've already like talked about your latest album and I said how it's rare, man, to be able to pop in an album and just listen to it from start to finish and
Hmm.
be like, wow. With this latest album, what was some elements that you added to it that you really wanted that you felt like you added successfully that wasn't in previous things? Like, was there maybe like with this album, I really wanted to explore this. I
Hmm.
really wanted to incorporate that. What what made what was that like making this album and what you were trying to do? Do you feel like you made what you wanted to make with this latest album?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was. And I've said like previously, like I feel if you like not listening to the lyrics, the music wise, it's like the most personal album for me because it's takes from all of my influences. I think previous Hellripper um were kind of deliberately rooted more in one style. There was
You're,
influences from everywhere, as there
you're
always will
finding
be.
your
Things will
sound,
creep in. Yeah, and then
you know?
this album, I guess I felt more confident as a songwriter. I'd been listening to a lot of different stuff. I was improved my ability on like on the instruments, on guitar and stuff, and vocally. Um, and you know what, you as you I guess you just practice writing songs and recording, and you get more of an idea what works, what doesn't work. Um, in experimenting in things. So yeah, this album, yeah, it took some. There's like loads of influence, even if you don't even hear it in the music. It might be something structure wise or certain guitar sound or a certain production technique can come from anywhere. For example, yeah, a lot of the structure wise and some of the bass lines, the way they're played and kind of structured throughout the songs are very taken from the Beatles, but put in a black metal context. I was listening to a lot of 90s music, so like Oasis, Alice in Chains, Manic Street Preachers, Stone Temple Pilots, stuff like that, like kind of more 90s rock kind of stuff. And a lot of their, like the guitar sound, the production, it's like, uh, I don't know how you describe it, like, but there's like some sort of atmosphere there. Like a lot of the songs kind of have like a high guitar, like high, kind of shoegazy, I guess, like high pitched guitar with delay and something like just um creating some sort of atmosphere or melody or something. Opeth do that as well, actually,
Hmm.
in a lot of things. Um, and I put that in some of the songs.
You had some
Of
great
course, like
transitions, man. You would have these moments where like it was just brutality, and then you went into like this soft, just clean,
mm,
and I was like, and I'm a
yeah,
big that was awesome. Like that was really it was really cool some of the stuff you did, man. And
thank you.
I don't mean to cut you off, but like on the Nuclear
That's
V,
all
when
right.
I first heard that song, I'm listening to it and what you said, the flow of the song between the verses, the chorus,
Mm,
the bridge was great. And there are moments when you're listening to a song and you don't want it to end. You're like, "Oh man, this is really flowing really good."
yeah,
And I remember listening to it and I was like, "Oh shit, man, like he's hit the chorus like two times now. I hope it's not I could like hear this, like keep it going."
yeah,
And you fucking went back into it again and I was like, "Thank God that this guy did this." Like you had like that flow and you kept it going. You stayed where you needed to stay. You
mm,
prolonged what needed to be prolonged. All right, back to what you're saying. I just wanted to tell you
yeah.
that.
Thank you, man. Yeah, that's again, like, I would on the maybe previous albums and stuff, I would never have tried that sort of stuff. Especially on this album, the latest album, the structures are a bit more complex, for lack of a better word. If you like a lot of, I mean, it's an effective technique and I still use it, for some songs, and this album uses it as well. But most of the Hellripper songs before were kind of verse, chorus, bridge, solo, then chorus. It's an effective technique. Every band has used it. And I still use it. But yeah, sometimes, just I wanted to try and experiment with things. So yeah, the Knuckle V kind of does, yeah, like verse, chorus, then into a bridge, which is almost a different piece of music in itself. It's like it's got like the bridge verse, it's got two solos, a harmony, then into the kind of climax and back into it. It's kind of um yeah, I was kind of inspired again, probably listening to bands like yeah, Opeth and like Agalloch or something like that, Typo
Mhm.
Negative. A lot of the songs I wanted to try and kind of try and mix the concise structure, the proven structure with a bit more of a um musical journey, what I mean, like kind of following the lyrics, kind of especially in a track like Mester Stoorworm, where the music was kind of written to follow the story, what's happening with the story, um the climax at the end, like the acoustic part where it's like the beast has been defeated, and it goes into a bit more of a cheery uh, um sounding part, stuff like that. It's yeah, and yeah, just try to take things that I've learned and things that I've listened to, and inspiration from anywhere, even the Chili Peppers, like some parts. There's a part in The Cursed Carrying Crown where it's barely audible, but there's like a lead guitar playing, and underneath it, there's like a little funk rhythm playing on guitar. Like I think it's only on one speaker, very quiet, and it was just to kind of add a little bit of atmosphere or something, but it added something, I think, to the
Hmm?
to the song. Yeah, there's probably more, but that's all I can remember at the moment.
Yeah, yeah, dude. You also like touch on a lot of mythos with with this writing. Was there so with that being said, was there ever a story growing up as a kid that like maybe your parents, your friends, or somebody told you that like maybe scared you? Was there any like folklore around where you grew
Um,
up?
Not so much. Um, I mean, there was kind of all these stories that you kind of hear about, whether it be, it could be anything from like, yeah, the Loch Ness Monster or things like that. And you hear about things like the Kelpies, and um, there's a lot of like near Aberdeen, there's a lot of castles with ghosts that lurk, that haunt the castles and stuff. So that's kind of the stuff that you kind of kind of grew up on, kind of, you hear, but not really in much detail or anything. It was kind of like, oh, there's this
Yeah.
place is supposed to be haunted or whatever. But things like, yeah, this Sawney Bean, which is the what the Curse of Carrying Crown's about. That's kind of that's that's been used as like an inspiration for like horror films and stuff. I think The Hills Have Eyes or something was based on that. Um, but yeah, it wasn't until really, I moved from the city to the Highlands at around the start of the writing process for this album. And like usually my environment, I think, doesn't really affect me. Usually kind of I'm inspired by like other music, and just
Hmm.
wanting to play music is usually what like inspires me and influences me. But when I moved to where I am now, like it was like inspiring with all the like the landscapes, the mountains, and the kind of there's more sort of folklore and stories and stuff like that around where I am right now. So that kind of inspired me to look into kind of Scottish history and folklore and stuff like that, the dark side of stuff, and I thought maybe I'll have one or two songs based on kind of Scottish stuff, as I have done in the past, songs like Vampire's Grave from the previous album,
Hmm.
and Black Hearts and Alchemy, the title track. They're both based on like Scottish events. So I thought maybe I'll have one or two more stories to explore, write a song about. But then there was so much stuff that I thought perfect. I can make the album not necessarily a concept album, but the base the album on Scotland. The whole thing is based on Scotland in some way, whether yet it be folklore or like historical events or
A
uh,
collection of tales.
yeah, basically. And I thought that would be cool to kind of it kind of gave the album, like a theme which kind of ties it all together and stuff like that. And yeah, there's so much more to explore as well. The next album is likely to be Scottish based again. There's so much stuff to explore, and I don't want to. It's not just taking any old like kind of story or event or whatever. There's loads of them, but I wanted to make sure that it fit the Hellripper aesthetic. It's got to. It's you've got. I don't want to be singing about like William Wallace or something like that. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't. It's not what I'm going for with Hellripper, like the aesthetic. So it makes more sense for me to have like evil creatures
Horror.
that yeah, horror, like cannibal cannibal clans that live in caves and um yes, in yeah, the devil in Scotland and stuff like that. And it makes more sense. I mean, it's kind of it's it's basically, I mean, the album is basically, the themes are very similar to um the previous albums, previous songs, just kind of filtered through a Scottish lens, just kind of, you've got like witchcraft and
Hmm.
devilry and all that kind of stuff. Which and yeah, it kind of made for a somewhat unique um album, I think, especially like in the black speed metal style. There's not much bands that are speaking about um like Scottish folklore and stuff like that. Of course, you've got bands like Sewer and stuff like that who are doing stuff, but that's more black metal and yeah, I thought it was kind of relatively unique for the thrash speed kind of um, style, which was cool. And it was fun to
If
write about something different as well, rather than uh, approaching the same like kind of things that I've been speaking about for however many songs I've written over the years. So I thought it was kind of fun to change things up a bit.
Well, dude, I think you've heard the feedback that what you did and this with this latest album and the praise it got.
Yeah,
Like you got the justification, like, hey man, you did something really great here. And it doesn't surprise me. You said you grew up in Aberdeen, right?
mm,
And that's all you've kind of known, other than maybe
yeah,
trips across the country or whatever.
yeah,
But
yeah,
it doesn't surprise me that you moving did something. And
yeah,
that is like par for the course of an artist and just as human beings as you grow, because
yeah,
we can kind of get used to a certain type of way of thing. But it doesn't surprise me that you moving to the Highlands and getting inspired by something that doesn't normally, you said your
yeah,
surroundings didn't really inspire you,
yeah,
but now
absolutely.
you're uprooted, you're somewhere else, and now it just opened up a different facet of
Yeah, it's
inspiration.
yeah, it's cool. And yeah, I mean, yeah, I lived in Aberdeen for what, 23 years, something like that, 23 years. And it's a city, so it's like, I mean, the outside of Aberdeen, you've got like, castles and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I was primarily, in a city where it was just like a regular city, I guess.
Mhm.
And then yeah, I moved to the Highlands in like 2019, I think. And yeah, it's just totally different. I'm nowhere near anything really. I'm in a town or city or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But it's not, there's not however many people there are in Aberdeen, like 300,000 or something. I think there's like 25,000 here, and it's you know something like that. That could be totally wrong. But yeah, it's more, there's just trees everywhere, mountains everywhere, and locks and things like that. So yeah, it's a totally different environment for me, and I prefer this environment. It's a lot more peaceful. It's
Hmm.
especially for what I do. Being a one man solo project, whatever. I kind of get on with my what I'm doing in kind of peace, really. With really without any real disturbance or whatever.
Distractions, yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
So what is there any mythos or anything that you would like to possibly write about that you haven't? Do you already have like one or two in mind?
Yeah, I'm just gonna look at my songs here for the new album. Let's see. Um I know I'm gonna do something about, well, I'm hoping to do something about Tam O'Shanter, the poem. I believe Number of the Beast was kind of inspired by that.
Hmm.
Um that's something cool. I mean, I don't want to go into like too much detail, but you've
Oh,
got
no, no, no. Yeah, yeah.
um again some kind of uh yeah, I'm trying not to give away too much detail. I mean, if I yeah,
You can just say,
just
yeah, yeah, I got some stuff.
yeah. I mean, yeah, the whole thing is going to be based on Scotland again, most likely. Um,
That's
and
awesome, dude.
I'll try and keep it, relatively. I mean, I haven't
Yeah.
written any of the lyrics. There's a couple of verses and things written, but I don't. I'll try and keep some sort of secret because
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know when the album's going to be released. So, giving try and keep a little bit of surprise because I've learned that over the years I say I'm going to do something, I'm like, oh, this there's going to be an EP out or this song is going to be out, and then I post a clip on Instagram or something, and then I change my mind, I delete the song, I delete the EP, and
Yeah.
then people are like, oh, what's happened and stuff. So I'm trying. So I've got to be careful anytime I say something's going to happen,
Yeah, yeah. I got you.
to make it happen. So yeah, the whole, I like for example, yeah, the last album. I don't know if there's still clips on Instagram and Facebook and stuff, but I actually recorded about two or three songs more in a kind of punk style, originally, and I posted some clips online, and yeah, they were recorded and stuff, and I listened to them back, and I thought, nah, these are just not good enough. Um,
Hmm.
they felt like uninspired. They kind of felt like I was like doing the same as I had done before, but just not as good, or I didn't
Hmm.
think they were as good, and they just sounded uninspired, and so I deleted what I had of the album and just started again and decided to go in a more, you know, bring in more of these influences and stuff, and that's how I got to the kind of direction that I wanted wanted to go in. I thought I'm going to limit myself less. I'm going to take in all these influences and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I try not to make any promises about stuff
Absolutely.
musically that I'm gonna
Yeah.
delete the songs and stuff.
So how has it been like doing tours?
Yeah, it's been cool. It's been over the past 2 years or so, 2 or 3 years, things have been just increasing and touring more and more, and
Hmm.
um yeah, it's been cool. We've played. I mean, yeah, like I say, I never intended the band to be a live band at all, and um, luckily, like I've got some the other guys in the live band, like friends of mine. They uh, are great musicians and know what they're doing, um, and I'm lucky enough to be. We've played with like bands that I've inspired HELLRIPPER, bands that influenced got me into music and stuff like
Hmm.
that, and so yeah, it's been great. Like everything's grown since the start. It's been like a gradual growth since the start, and yeah, with the last album especially, things kind of went up a notch. You know, we just finished like our longest tour, which was like 5 or 6 weeks. In Europe. Um, I mean, yeah, if as long as people want to see us, it's I'm grateful for that. So
Yeah. Do you have
it's cool
any,
to.
sorry, do you have any like funny, do you have like a funny story, something that happened that you'd be like, "Oh my God, I'll never forget this" on
Um,
tour?
there's not really. We're quite boring. I mean, there's one where we played at a festival, um, Damnation Festival in England, and the way like the way that the venue, the stages were kind of set up, there was like it was in it, I think it took place in a university, so there was like loads of floors, loads of different rooms, like all over the building. It was a huge place, so the way to like to load in like your merch and your gear and stuff, you had to use an elevator to get up and down. And one of the elevator actually went to the stage, like one of the stages. Um, so when but that shouldn't be an issue. But when we got into the elevator, we had all our gear. We had like 6 boxes of merch. We had like guitars. I think we had guitars. Maybe not. I know we had loads of merch. And the elevator like broke, and it just sent us down
No.
instead of up. It sent us down instead of up, or sent us very to the very bottom of the stage while there was a band playing. So the elevator opened, and it's like it's not on the stage, but it's like in the crowd, like near the front of the
Yeah.
stage, and the elevator is lit and stuff. So the doors opened, and then like we just like lit up, and everyone looked at us, like, and we were like, oh no, we've pressed the wrong button or whatever. Quickly, quickly. But then the elevator wouldn't move, so the doors would close. We'd press the button, and then they would just open again. And we thought someone was, like pressing it to like prank us to keep us there or something. So we were getting annoyed. One of us ended up going out to like stop anyone pressing the buttons, but we realized, yeah, there was something just wrong with the
Oh
elevator.
my God.
So we were stuck. Like this band were playing, doing their set and it was a full room. Like it was a full room.
And here
And
you
they
are
had
with this
just,
light opening.
yeah, and they had just started their set. So it was like a 50-minute set or something. And we were like, we can't stay here. Like we have other things to do. We have to set up the merch. We have to do whatever, speak to the organizers and things. So we ended up having to eventually, we waited like 10 minutes and eventually had to just drag all the merch through the crowd of people during this band set. Yeah, I felt it was horrible. It was, it just felt like we were like disturbing the band set and
Yeah.
people thought we were doing it deliberately or whatever. But yeah, like we walked through like with boxes of vinyl and t-shirts, like head in hand, like trying to like hide ourselves and stuff. But
Yeah.
that was horrible. It was funny, but yeah,
Dude, just the mental image of that, man. Um, what
awful.
has how well, I wanted to close with this. How do you maintain a really good, how do you work on your mental health and maintain a good mental focus
Mm,
with this
I
journey that you're on? Like, how do you keep
yeah,
your head?
yeah, I just don't um yeah, I mean the people I surround myself with, my partner is very helpful in that respect, and I think I try to yeah, I've learned like we spoke about earlier, I've learned not to take like negativity personally and stuff, because if you take I mean, if you have fans, you're going to have people that hate you, and the bigger you grow as a band, the more fans you have, but the more people that don't like you, is going to be. So it's like I think learning not to take anything personally and stuff, and any negativity towards the band and stuff, not as an attack on myself, because that would really, have an effect. Um, yeah, I just try and stay. I don't really. I think, yeah, being where I am now, I'm not in the middle of a busy city. I'm not in a huge location with loads of stuff going on, loads of distractions, loads of noise and stuff. Um, yeah, it's difficult to to really say. I haven't really thought about it like that. But yeah, I just kind of, I just the way I am, I kind of keep to myself, I guess.
Hmm.
I try not to get, involved in, online drama. I try not to, um, yeah. Yeah, just try and keep myself to myself and try and I mean, I enjoy writing music. I think that helps as well. Writing music is what I enjoy doing. It's my favorite thing ever, and um that probably helps, that's probably some sort of um I don't know, catharsis or something. I don't know, maybe that helps. I don't really necessarily think about it that way. I just think of songwriting as something fun to do, but that probably helps that I'm able to do something that I like so often. But yeah, yeah.
And there's really no right or wrong answer. It's just
Hmm.
how you process. And I can imagine just where, like what you said, where you're at, dude. I'm the same way. Like if I need to be around nature.
Hmm.
Because like that's a safe haven for you. Like
Hmm.
you have stuff that goes on online, but like you're here in this beautiful place and you can go for a walk and you know what I mean? And
Yeah,
life is going to be okay. You know what I mean?
absolutely. Yeah. And yeah, like I say, I surround myself with people that um non-toxic people, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, the people I speak to and my friends and stuff like that, you know, like I f I don't feel that they're a negative influence or bringing you down or
Yeah.
something like or anything like that. So yeah,
No, man, that's
yeah.
wise. And we will this is the last thing. All right,
Hmm.
let's pretend, dude, you've done Hellripper 30 years. You're 50 years old, dude. You're
Yeah, well.
retiring. You're done, right? And you've had a
Hmm.
great run. You've made amazing albums and people know you. People are coming up. What is one thing that you hope, and this could be a selfish thing, what's one thing you hope your music does or how your music has affected something? What's one thing you hope people will feel or maybe even say to you? Like if somebody came up and said, I've been listening to your music for years and this is how your music has affected me. Like maybe what
Yeah.
is there anything that maybe
I mean, yeah, I mean if I can um like the way that music affects me, like, you know, I mean, still when I listen to my favorite bands like Metallica or the Chili Peppers or
Mhm.
something like that, like the way that makes me feel, I don't know how to describe the way it makes me feel, but it just makes me feel good. Um, if my if anyone can feel that way about Hellripper's music, that would be the best because I don't know how to describe the feeling, but my that feeling listening when I listen to that kind of like my favorite music, it's just
there's a joy to it. There's a
yeah,
joy. There's a when you hear something that just speaks to you, man, it's a feeling of being alive. It's
yeah,
yeah, I
yeah,
get what you mean.
yeah. If someone can, yeah, if I can make someone feel the same way that I feel about my favorite bands, then that's way more than enough for me. You know, that's it's crazy. I mean, like I say, I'm just grateful that anyone listens to the music in the first place. So it's anything after that is means a lot to me. I'm very grateful for that, and it's amazing to me that people even want to listen to the music. You know, especially when there's so much other music and so much, not even just music. You know, there's you know you can be TV and films and whatever like that. You know, there's so much different things you can be doing rather than listening to Hellripper, and the fact that people choose to do that means a lot. It's crazy.
It's incredible, man. What a time, man. Thank you, James. Thanks for hanging out,
Thank you,
dude.
man.